coordinator of the previous session and hopefully serving as a site coordinator in the upcoming session. I welcome you all to our webinar on smart agriculture. Today we have Pakhil Singh as our speaker. She is a batch 2021 electronics pass out from ZHCT ANU and she will be speaking on smart agriculture. She has also worked in several related fields of Internet of Things and battery technologies, and she has also served as the former site coordinator for the session 2019 to 2020. Before we start and before I hand on the mic to Ms. Pakil Singh, I'm gonna inform you all that we're gonna have a rapid fire session at the end of the webinar where we're gonna ask 10 questions and each one of you is supposed to reply uh, as the fastest fingers first on in the chat box. You're gonna supposed to reply your answer in the chat box as soon as you can, and the one who answers the most correct questions and fastest is gonna win a cash prize. And if there are any questions from anyone, I will be happy to answer them in the chat box. And over to you, Pakili.
Thank you, Tayyaba. So, good evening, everyone. As Tayyaba already introduced me, and you are aware of the topic of this webinar, Smart Agriculture. It's not a webinar, it's more of a lecture. So, the sole purpose is that I'll introduce you to the basic, wider picture of smart agriculture. And like many technologies are involved, the name it appears simple, but there are many processes and technologies which help us in accomplishing this entire process. So the purpose of this session, firstly, keep it interactive. Okay, if you have any question or you have something coming up in your mind that okay, I can do something in that particular domain, so speak up that very moment, you can speak up. And the other thing, for example, the key technology involved in this smart agriculture is IoT. So it's not that I'll teach you the entire IoT in this session or I'll take a complete course on IoT. The purpose is that you'll come across certain terms, maybe you may be already knowing them. You'll come across certain areas of work so that it comes to your mind, okay, I can contribute something in this area, I can work in this area. So then thereafter, after this session, then you can approach me or Tayaba or IEEE site with your idea or what kind of work you want to do. You can come and approach us, and then we can have something, by which we can work dedicatedly on that particular topic. So now let me start presenting. Okay. And yeah, please keep it interactive. If you're asked anything, give response, and based on your response we may also monitor that who of you which students are more active or interested. So accordingly, if there is any project, we may approach you depending upon your interest. So please keep participating. Okay, so please confirm if everything is fine. My screen is visible to all.
Yes, we can see your screen. Please
All
continue.
right. So smart agriculture, as the name suggests, there is something smart with it, isn't it? So do you guys know automation? Can anyone tell me what do you infer by automation, and what's the thing that strikes to your mind when I talk about smart agriculture? Anyone would come up? Anyone, you can come, you can speak your name, and then you can tell us whatever you understand.
Guys,
No
you can
one.
also answer in the chat box just in case you're not comfortable with speaking. We would love
Yeah, you
to have
can,
you.
but then it's better if you speak because I can't see that. No? I have the
Yeah,
presentation
I
mode.
can tell the chat box answers to you.
Okay. So you guys can write the answer.
Does anyone know anything about automation? What do you guys infer from automation?
please respond. It will be good for you and for us also. We will come to know the interest, the students who have their interest in this. Anyways, we are talking about smart agriculture. So here we are concerned about the use of technologies like Internet of Things, sensors, AI, and so on, which helps to make this process automated. Automated means that all the processes which happens in the field which the farmer performs, they happen due to the by incorporating the sensors in the field, so that the sensors take the input and everything such as irrigation or seeding, all that can happen automatically. So why we want this automation? The obvious reason is to get the enhanced results, greater productivity at a lesser manpower. So we want to increase the quality and quantity of the crops. And okay, I have inserted these images. Now no one of you is answering. I have inserted these images for you only, that what do you see in these three images? What do you understand? Maybe this is a hint to the simple question which I asked few moments before. Anyone?
Ma'am, advanced agriculture.
Advanced agriculture, exactly. What kind of advancements are visible to you which are not there in traditional farming?
I guess automation here is the difference between traditional farming and smart agriculture.
Yeah, exactly. That's what smart agriculture is all about. Okay, what's your name?
This is Abbas. How are you, Bakildeen?
Okay, I'm fine.
Kildi, Annam has written in the chat box the use or introduction of automatic equipment in a manufacturing or other process.
Yes, he is absolutely correct, Arnab. And there was some one girl also.
Yeah, Annam had written that in the chat box.
No, Arshi. I guess it was Arshi.
Okay, yeah. The one
Yes,
who
yes,
spoke was
ma'am.
Arshi, and the one who's written it in the chat box is Annam.
Okay. All right. So in the first image here, we see the smart tractors. So they are, what they do, they are connected to internet. So they display all the data which is taken by the sensors on the dashboard. Like we have the dashboard in the car. So here all the data comes on the screen on the dashboard of the tractor. Also there are driverless tractors also. They're not common in India though. Then in the second image you can see there's a entire environment formed for the crops. You can see several sensors like light sensor, you have air inlet sensor here, carbon dioxide sensor, temperature and humidity sensor. So they're all fixed to take the input, and then it is analyzed at how much sunlight or temperature all this is required by the crop. Okay, so that we can not only provide a proper atmosphere to the crop, and we can also grow certain crops which are not usually grown in a certain region or certain state, but sometimes we can grow exceptional crops also using this method. So moving ahead, yes, these are the technologies used. The precision irrigation, precise plant nutrition, and the climate management and control in greenhouses, communication system, what all this is. See, we know that the demand for food is increasing as the population is increasing, and the latest report by the United Nations Food and Agriculture Organization, it has released that nearly about 70% increase will be there in the food requirement by 2050. So there is an explosion in global population, so we need to increase the growth, we need to increase the growth from the same amount of land. So for that we use a series of procedures or steps, in which the first is that we are incorporating sensors in the entire system. They capture the data. So a web of sensors is placed throughout the farm at these suitable locations, and they gather the required data. Okay, then that data is analyzed. Data, then second step here is in this slide, look at the slide. First step is capturing data, then this data analytics. you're getting the data in raw form, then it is analyzed and you can make certain predictions. There are prediction models. Then they help you to plan what you have. See, let me simplify it. For example, you're getting the data of the amount of rain, okay, falling, and you observe the pattern for a certain amount of days. Then you can predict that what will be the pattern of rain for the next few days, and how much water the soil is able to seep, and how much water is flowing. So all that, you create a prediction model. So that makes the farmer aware that, okay, there will be rainfall in next few days, so I should not go for irrigation, otherwise it will harm the crops. All that. Then when it is done, then informed action and planning. That means you have all the data, and now you know that what strategy you should further follow to follow for the betterment of your crops, and what farming techniques you should go ahead with. So these are the key areas of applications, or I can say the advantages also of this smart agriculture. And most of you must be knowing these. That first one, as written, prevent disease with efficient crop management. So as I told, sensors, they collect data like temperature, precipitation, the water content in the leaves. Even this can be predicted. So overall crop health is monitored. So this live data, it can be viewed, and farmer would know that which crop is devoid of which thing, and or there is something excess in a particular crop. So it will prevent it from the diseases. Then second, smart irrigation. So there are sensors such as soil moisture sensors, humidity sensors, water level sensors, flow sensors. So they will monitor time to time the requirement of the crop, the water required by the crop, the humidity or moisture required by the crop. And when the required suppose the required condition is met, then microcontroller will be there. Okay, so it will it has a certain algorithm. For example, you have to do irrigation. So when there is a need of water, that microcontroller, it will activate the pump that will irrigate the crop automatically, and when the requirement is fulfilled, it will automatically switch off the pump when your job is done. Okay, then we have prediction of weather. So there is a complete setup. Even this image you can see towards the right, this is a setup for weather prediction. So this is not consuming a large amount of space even. It is capable of capturing a live satellite weather forecasting, and so it gives this information to the farmer. Like he can see the required information on the mobile app, or it can be even nowadays websites are also there which are connected to these equipments, so the person can open the website and see. Then moving ahead, animal print live tracking is there. So there are farmers who are having livestock animals, so keeping a close watch on animals the whole day, that's impossible. So GPS tracking can help farmer to have real-time access to the exact locations of every animal, and this can even help them to prevent their livestock from predator animals coming, okay, in the farm. Then in safe storage. So till now I was talking about growing the crops, but after that, when you are having grains, you can store them. So there, how you are adjusting, how you are storing them actually, why they're not getting, how can you store them for the entire year or more time? You're using certain sensors like temperature, gas sensors, light sensors, all that. So each type of grain, it has a different requirement. According to that, the values are set. So so we, for example, gas sensor, so only the value of the amount of gas you set, that much gas will come inside the chamber. Okay, so that's how it works. All right. So, have you heard about regenerative agriculture? Anyone? I'm trying to keep it interactive so that I know you're listening and I'm not speaking one way. Anybody? Regenerative agriculture?
मैम वो जो आपस में एक्सचेंज करते हैं एक कंट्री दूसरी कंट्री की।
Regenerative agriculture is a conservation and rehabilitation approach of food and farming system.
Correct. So like agriculture sector, if I talk about, it's important for us, but it's the biggest emitter of carbon dioxide. It is greenhouse gas. So what we try in regenerative agriculture, that as you said, that is absolutely correct, and we also ensure that whatever we are harvesting after that, we are not releasing something harmful in the nature. So if we are able to get something more out of the agriculture, what I mean to say, you're growing the crops, okay, you're getting your grains, you're getting your food, everything, but you should make this process such that it's environmental friendly also, and such that whatever resources you're using in farming, instead of focusing on using more and more resources, focus on using less and with a greater quality. For example, you're using fertilizers. Excess of fertilizers are not good, isn't it? So you try that in this approach, we try that the resource which we are using, the quality should be improved, so that we are not either using it too much, we are not depleting it. Okay, so kind of sustainable use. And for that, there are several techniques like crop rotation and conservation tillage for preventing erosion. All that is used. But what can we do as engineers? Can you suggest me something? Tell me something which not only makes agriculture smart, it makes agriculture automated, but can we do something else with the crop fields which give us something else in return in addition of crops? Can we get something else out of the crop fields? The hint is there in front of you. Did you get my question?
Yes, as in this case, I guess we are getting both energy and produce.
Yeah, that's what. So yeah, this you can see the same in this image. So we actually refer it as dual use. So what we are doing here, this dual use, it refers to the agriculture production and at the same time electricity generation. Okay, so here this is a farmland and we are using these solar PV panels here together on the same piece of land. So we are getting the yields from crop as well, and we are also getting the green energy, green form of energy. And even one more thing can be done. As I told that CO2 is released, and even this is done, then waste management plants can be set up. Okay, those waste gases can be utilized. So there are several methods of getting green energy. Now here, if I talk about this setup, this was sorry, this was set up first by Sunbug Solar. So it allows the crops to grow on a farm which is producing energy from the sun. Now there are certain system parameters which you need to keep in mind, because it's not like you take the solar panels, you install them in the fields and you will get the crop yield and electricity at the same time. There are certain things to keep into the design. Like system size, it should be designed according to the allowed electricity generation. You can't generate their X, suppose it's a X kilowatt hour energy is allowed. You can't cross that because it's not a electricity station, it's a crop field. Then the height of the panels. So the students inclined towards solar and renewable energy side must be knowing it, that these panels, they are installed at a particular angle at which they get the maximum sunlight, so that they produce the maximum result, right? But one more thing, you don't it is not enough to see the angle of the panels at which you get the maximum sunlight, but you have to keep in mind that the crops which are growing here, they're not disturbed by this panel. Do you think there is some disadvantage this solar panel can cause to the crops?
Blocking sunlight.
Exactly. Right. So that's what I was saying. When you're installing these panels, so it's not like you have to only see the angle at which these panels are working in an optimized manner. You have to keep a balance that, okay, I'm getting a certain amount of green energy also, and my crops are also growing in a fine way. So these are the parameters which have to be kept in mind. That shading should not be there. The height of these panels should be sufficient so that the crop can grow, freely. So there should be an optimized balance between the yield which you are getting from the crops and the electricity generation as well. So this slide shows smart greenhouses. Most of you must be aware of these. Greenhouses are, we are creating a simple environment. For different crops, we create a customized environment. We set the amount of temperature, the humidity and everything. So it will give us better results, and minimized human or manual intervention will be there. So, okay. Now coming to unmanned autonomous aerial vehicles. This is these days it's a trending technology, and it has not only applications in agriculture, but we all know it has several other applications. So drones, they can in agriculture, if I talk about, they can be used for site surveying. Like they can be used to find the best location to plant the crop, to inspect the land conditions, and to plan crop rotations. So, for example, it can do soil mapping, right? It can, I mean to say, it can monitor which soil is not good, which soil is dry. It can track the damage also present in the soil, and it can even weeds grow, right? So it can detect that whether weeds are present, or there is any kind of unwanted thing growing there. And they can also do one more thing, that if suppose irrigation is done, in certain areas water seepage will be more, and in certain areas water level would be high. So the elevation of water, how it is flowing and seeping, all can be determined by the help of these drones. And they can identify dry areas as well, as I told you. So all this is possible due to image processing. Very high level image processing is done. So most of you might be, I think, belong to first year. So I won't go into depth of image processing. Although if any one of you is interested, can contact me later, then I can explain you what is the scope of this image processing. And in the beginning I told you that in this session, it's not that I'm going to teach or take an entire course on something, because that won't be possible in half an hour. So, but I'm talking about different things. So if you're coming across a term or a technology, then you can indeed go into depth of that, and you can even contact me regarding that. So right now I talked about image processing. So there is a lot to do in that. All right, then. And so drones, they're very helpful to us. And this, apart from all these things which I mentioned, drones can also be used for pest control. Okay, so you all must be aware of this, that they are used for spraying fertilizers and pesticides also. So in this manner, they help us to maximize and boost the production, and food security, of course, it's maintained. And any other application comes to your mind about drones in agriculture you like to share? Anyone? Okay, tell me, these drones, human have to operate them, or they can operate themselves also?
Luckily, Zaid Akhtar has answered the application as seed distribution.
Yeah, seed distribution is correct.
We can use unmanned drones also.
Yeah, right. Okay.
Autonomous drones, I guess, they are picking up.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Okay. So AI can help the drones,
Yeah,
to work totally in a totally autonomous manner.
Transportation is also answered by one of the students.
Yeah, transportation, correct. They can also keep a track of pollination. it exploits the same thing which I talked about, image processing. So image processing at a very precise level is done, that it can even capture the keen details, the minute details happening there. And there is a thing called thermal camera. So imaging cameras, the simple cameras which are there in the drones, they capture the images, but these thermal cameras, this is a little different thing. Anyone know about it? Okay, let me continue. So, see, the imaging cameras on drone, they detect the heat coming from all objects. These thermal cameras. Thermal cameras, they detect the heat coming from the objects. So, see, the camera, what is the function of camera? It produces an image or video, right? That when it captures an image, it can also capture a video. But the principle of a normal imaging camera is different. But thermal camera, it first detects the heat coming from the object, and then it converts it into the images by the help of that. So this emitted thermal energy, that is also known as heat signature in the technical language. So this temperature, it affects the wavelength and frequency, that you are aware, I think. So for example, let me explain. Like, suppose there are kettle. See, one way is that the drone is capturing it is capturing images of the kettle. It is recording. It is doing the recording. But the other way is that in some areas, such drones are used, that suppose your livestock is there in the farm and a predator animal is coming. So it will detect the predator animal through the heat released from his body, and then the farmer will get a notification through app, website, whatever app is better for it. Okay, so this way it can detect the presence of the predator animal as well. So thermal measurement, it is very helpful, and it can swiftly show which location of the fields are under and over irrigated. Also, this thing can also be done, because it is based on temperature, right? So so when there is excess water, it will give a certain amount of reading. When there is less water, it will give a different reading. So that way you can also know which areas are having more water, which areas are having less water. Okay. So here in the slide, there's this man. His name is Dr. Parag Narvekar. He worked for 12 years at NASA. Okay, so he's Indian and graduated from IIT Bombay. So I thought to include about his picture and this setup, this smart agriculture setup here. So now he has returned to India. So, and he has launched his startup. He is working to help the farmers by making the satellite data accessible to the farmers. So you can see the picture of these devices. Here what he has done, that these devices, they of course they perform the primary functions, like there are sensors that monitor the soil health, the humidity, the leaf moisture, and even they diagnose the early stages of disease present in the plants or the crops. So, and this I just wanted to share this, and there are many other startups also. I thought to share one with you. Then, okay, you know about IEEE site, isn't it? So here I have written site smart seeded project. So this site is for IEEE site only. Okay. So here you can see a group of students. These are a group of students like us. They belong to IEEE site. So what they did, actually, there were farmers of a certain community. They were growing tomato plants in the field, and the plants were growing very well. But the problem they were facing was that the seeds were not sprouting. And they belonged to such a community that they were they were living countryside. They were living in a very exterior zone, so they had to travel to very long distance to bring sprouted plants to their fields, and then they used to plant them. So that was a long process. financially also, and manpower also was required. So what these students, they identified this problem, and they have created this smart seedbed project. So as you can see in the first image, what they have done, that this is a greenhouse only, and what they have done here, it is a 2.4-meter tall greenhouse, and it is walled with 6.5 mm of UV plastic. So this UV plastic they have used, it allows the sunlight to pass, but it eliminates 88% of the sun's radiation. That's the requirement of the sprouting. So sunlight can go inside, but only a restricted amount. That's why they have used UV plastic. So these walls, they're also having a mesh, and that mesh prevents the outside contamination. Like insects can damage the plant, right? So insects cannot enter. So the purpose of inserting this picture is that the main purpose is, these are the students like us. Maybe the images are not doing justice to the work they have done, but the community which was facing this problem was a very large community, and they were not that financially rich. So these students actually solved a great problem, and this not only helped the farmers, but it also helped those students in their careers. So similarly, you can also, you can also identify your domain, your interest. I'm not saying smart agriculture only, anything. And similarly, you can also work maybe with the help of IEEE site. So if you want to join us, or you have any proposal, similarly, you can also come up and you can also do something great. This project, it was recognized by IEEE site international. So it's not on a college level or a country or the state level. It is recognized, and even this will be available on their website also. Okay, so when comes anything with advantage, there come challenges with it. So the challenges faced by farmers in adopting IoT for agriculture, or this entire smart agriculture thing. The first is lack of infrastructure. Lack of infrastructure, like if I talk about India, then of course there is a lack of infrastructure. If I talk about this smart agriculture system, although now the number of startups are really growing, but still it is less as we compare to the foreign countries. So the reason is that the farmers are not aware. And the other thing, that majority of the farmers, they are not having that very good financial strata, so they don't want to invest in a new thing, right? So they are more comfortable in going with the traditional methods. And it's quite correct also, because the cost is not that low that it can be affordable to every farmer. So but there are different technologies, different startups which are trying to reduce the cost, but yeah, still this is a major factor. And then the security. So whenever we are connecting something to internet, security issues, they will come along, but to a major extent it can be coped up. And there are certain protocols, there are certain security protocols which are used for the same. So if any one of you is interested, can, there is a proper, you can study, it is security is not that simple, it's a complete subject. And protocols are, there are security protocols, that is a wide concept. So if you want, you can work in this area also. And yeah, okay, Tayyaba, am I audible?
Yes, you're audible.
Okay, there was some error popping here. Okay, fine. All right, so this was all from my side. Thank you all. Now I request you all to first tell me that, did you infer something, like did you get the area of your interest, or any questions popped up into your mind, or anything which can be discussed? Let me see the students first.
Guys, feel free to comment on the topic, whatever you learned,
Yeah, let me see the students first.
anything that interests you.
Okay, you tell me, I'll ask you, you tell me. How many of you think that you want to work in IoT?
Anyone really interested in working in Internet of Things and related domains? Something that inspires you guys, electronics people. You can put it in the chat box.
Okay.
I think everyone is too shy. Um, okay, so there's
Nikita.
Nikita, right?
Nikita, you're from which year? First. Okay,
Nice
good.
to meet you, Nikita.
Hmm. Actually, Tayeba, I suggest you can write the name of such students. Maybe it helps you in forming a team.
Of course, we do count in students who are
Yeah,
really passionate and
though I
interested
have
because,
written the names of Nikita for IoT.
yes, that would be great. And it doesn't matter whether you know things or not. We don't expect first year students to know a lot of things, but it does matter that you are passionate to work in any specific field and
Yeah.
then you can
And
learn.
another point was why I am asking this because most of the students here are of first year. So, like I was preparing the lecture. So, first when I was writing, I was writing all that stuff, protocol, security, and everything which you would have not understood anything. Then I removed all that. Then, my idea was okay. Let me I'll frame it in a very basic way. Then I'll ask you which area fascinates you or interests you, and then you can contact me and we can actually go into the depth.
Basically, Pakil Didi can help you get started in your IoT field. If IoT is what that interests you, she can tell you how you can go about it. So feel free to tell her that you're interested and then you can connect with her in future.
Anyone for image processing?
Well, I am interested in image processing. I always
Okay,
do image
Tayyaba, we'll, we'll,
processing.
we'll discuss.
Yes, of course.
Nice.
Ifra too, right?
Ifra, okay. Image processing would help you.
Definitely. So Pakil Didi, if we are done with the
Yeah, I think we
questions,
can have the quiz now.
yeah, you can share your screen and me and Ifra and Afifa, we will be keeping
Okay.
a limit.
So we have all of the students are here. Okay. So we are just starting. So all of you, please stay alert. And there are 10 questions. Okay. So I think there are 2, 3 questions you have to answer. I think in 1 or 2 words. Rest are MCQs. So don't write the full answer. Like don't write A India, B England. You just write A, B, and C. So because you have to answer quickly. Okay. So you can comment in the chat box, and I'm presenting. And Tayaba, so I'm presenting and you alarm them once that we are starting, okay?
Yes, of course. Guys, please answer in the chat box to do not open your
Yeah,
mic and speak
and
the answers. It will
so
be
I
beneficial
can,
for you and us, both of us. And please, the questions are not going to be very difficult. All you need to do is be a little observing and patient. Think about it and you'll get it.
yeah, they're quite simple and it's not a competition though, but the winner, we will sort of reward the winner, okay? Okay, so let's go ahead. Please acknowledge when my screen is visible to you, okay?
It is visible.
Visible? So,
Yes.
okay, slideshow. कर
Okay,
देते
so
हैं.
the first question is on the screen, everyone.
Yeah.
Please answer. I don't think we have a lot of time, everyone. Please try to be as quick as you can. Okay, we have an answer. I think we can. If anyone wants to answer, you have another 10 seconds to do that, or else we'll move to the second question. Okay, great. We have a few answers. I think we can move on to the second question.
Okay.
Full form of UAV. Be super quick, people. I guess we can move on to the
Okay.
third question.
For this, you can name any agro startups, Indian or international, any.
Agro startups, anyone?
One I shared with you if you were attentive.
Yes, she did. So let's see who was attentive and who wasn't. Okay, I think, can we move on to the third one?
You got the answers?
Yeah,
Shall I
I
move
think,
ahead?
yeah, we can move on to the third one.
Okay, okay.
Please answer in the options A, B, C, D. I think we're gonna give a little time for this question.
Yeah.
And yeah, we're waiting for your answers, everyone. I think we have a few answers.
Okay. So I guess I should move because it's
Yeah,
first.
you can move. Who has started the startup?
Okay, so I think the question, it's not complete, I guess.
Yeah,
I'm talking about the startup I discussed in the slides. So even if I would have framed the question in a different manner, I would have not given you all the details because it has to test your presence of mind. Okay, so it's about the startup of the guy I discussed, of the man I discussed who worked at NASA, right? That's a hint for you. And he returned to India.
great. I think we have a few answers and we can move on.
Okay, we have good.
Again, please answer A, B, C, or D. These questions, although they look really high-end, but I think you mentioned it while speaking about sensors and transducers, so I think students would be able to get it.
Yeah, a small test of your GK, you can say. GK in engineering. Second year students are also there, na, Tayyeba?
I am not very sure of the number of second year students, but
Okay.
yes, we have more first year students.
All
I
right.
think
So
the list.
never mind if you have any question out of your scope.
Yeah, of course, it's just for your GK and just to see how well you can guess.
Yeah. And if you don't know the answer, you can go back and search and learn about that. You got any answers or shall I move?
Yeah, you can move on.
Okay. This is, some little extended part of IoT. If you know, then you can answer.
Right, I think we have answers. You can move on to the next one.
Okay, okay. I've slightly up-leveled the question here. So I was not sure if all the students belong to first year only. That's why.
Yeah, right. It's completely fine. You guys can make a fine guess. We don't have all first year students, I guess, but since these events are aimed at first year students, we still try to keep a margin. Okay, we can move on to the next question.
All right.
Types of voice communication in IoT environment.
Shall I move ahead? Do we have the answers, Tayyeba?
I think we can move on to the last question.
Okay. This is the last question. So this is quite related to the electronics or even the computer students can answer. I don't expect the answer from first or even second year.
It's completely fine.
Or if someone is working in the domain of networking, then he or she can. But see, through these questions, if you have observed, these are related to different areas. So these are the areas you can work, you can move ahead with.
Do not get intimidated by such questions. Our intention is only to have a fair chance with everyone,
Yeah.
to have different types of questions.
Yeah. And I have a little something exciting after this quiz to tell you.
I think we have the answers and we can close the quiz round and then we can move on to the next part. Yes. We will not be accepting any answers beyond this.
Okay. Tayeba, so wait, those of you who have answered, please remain in the meeting, okay? Anyone has left the meeting who answered?
I'm not sure. Yeah, like there are a few people who have left. A
Okay,
couple of people.
rest of you stay here. Tayeba, you are going to evaluate it laterwards.
Yeah, I will be evaluating it later on, and I will be contacting the
Okay.
winner
Okay, fine.
myself.
So, okay, that little thing which I told you that I'll reveal is that whosoever will be the winner, of course, you'll get a certificate from IEEE side, and I'll give that person a book from my side. So, college is closed right now, but you can receive it later on from Tayyaba. Okay. So, whosoever would be the winner will inform him or her. So, all right,
Can you
that
tell
was
us about the book you are talking about?
uh, uh, that won't be revealed right now.
Okay. That's a surprise.
I reveal it's a
That's
book.
great
That's
news.
enough.
That's a great news.
Yeah,
I was not
so that would
expecting
be
this.
a little surprise when you come back to the college.
Yeah, in fact, it's not even about. I think college is not going to open anytime soon. But if any one of you is in Aligarh, I think you can get it from
Yeah.
IPPB, whoever the
Oh,
winner is. Right. So we will be declaring the winners in about a couple of days, and I think we're done. If anyone has any questions or would like to remain for an interaction, anything, not just IoT, anything you feel like you really want to ask your seniors, since you don't have seniors on a college life yet, feel free to stay and ask, or else you are free to leave.
yeah, and any of you who is interested to join IEEE site, you can also tell us now or later.
Yes, of course.
Any questions from anyone?
If there are no questions, we would ask everyone to leave the meeting, and we would like to close the session. Okay, how can I join IEEE? Yes. I am expecting that you're a first year student, Imaduddin, and IEEE will send out forms um, as soon as college opens within a couple of weeks, and you will be allowed to register for IEEE posts, and then you will have interviews. You will be updated about it. Don't worry about it. But do keep in touch with the be in touch with the IEEE handle, Instagram handle,
Yeah.
and you will be updated about everything. I would like to know who XF is in case you are winning. Then it would be difficult for us to reach you. So if
Yeah.
you could reveal your name.
You can type in the chat box.
Yeah, and whatever works for you, XF, because then I don't think we will be able to reach you. Okay, and I would request everyone to leave except the site team and Pakil Didi. And in fact, Pakil Didi, I think you have given a lot of time to us. Thank you so much for it. You can also take your leave.
No problem. I'll stay here for a couple of minutes with the team.
Yes, sure.
Afifa is from team, right?
Yeah,
Afifa
FIFA
and
is
it's
from
the
team.
okay. Anam, Nikita, Namra, if you guys have no queries, you can leave the meeting.
Um, Whoever is joining from IEEE student branch, Bhumika, you can remove Maria, Sidra, and Nikita.
Okay, Tayyaba.
Welcome, Nikita.
Now this is the team.
Yeah, I think
Anyone
Sidra is
else?
left.
Tayyaba?
Yeah, Sidra is left. Okay, yes. Sidra has also left. Okay, we have the team now. I think we will just go starting, say, over the answers that were given.
हाँ, let us check क्योंकि मैं ऑप्शन में मैंने भी कोई गलती ना करी हो.
So you can in itself read the answers and let me know whatever suits.
Yeah. Okay. So first question में what did they answer?
Thermocouple measure temperature. Variations in temperature changes the resistance.
Wait, Tayyaba. I want to ask recording stop.
Yeah, of course, stop the recording.
Okay.
Tayyaba, what should we do? Like for first question,